Hi, it's Mike. Just before we start watching today's video, I'm sorry about the excess noise. The fans are on because the heat in this room goes berserk at night, and I just need a little bit cooler room to sleep. So I apologize for the noise, and let's get into the intro. Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's get more into the frame, shall we? Okay. Blood sugars. Well, it really hasn't changed since yesterday's video because I do a couple of these at a time. Current blood sugar 11.3, full calibration. Basal is at 1.20 units per hour. Active insulin, I have 0 in me right now. Very shortly, probably around 7:30 or so, no, 8:30, I'll take some insulin and hopefully will bring this down with my breakfast carbs. Time and range, 46%. Just clear a message here. 51% above 10%. I may be changing my site shortly. Anyway, 3% below 3.9, 9.5, not a good previous to yesterday's video. Today, we're going to discuss what you have to do to take charge of your diabetes. So, we'll be right back in a moment to discuss this. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Okay, so type 1 diabetes is a lifelong disease. You're going to have to learn how to control it, how to talk frankly with your doctor about it. But the biggest thing you're going to have to learn is how to take control of your diabetes. And I really don't mean, okay, control. Yes, you're going to have to take it. But you're going to have to learn how to utilize the tools. So you could say to your doctor, well, I've been high for the last couple of days. Why is that? Okay. Or you could say, I've been high for the past couple of days. This is why I've taken more insulin to cover breakfast. that is what you need to learn. Sorry, I was hearing something else clicking. Don't worry about so much of what other people are doing. You have to take control of your diabetes. Now, so many people would say, oh yes, but it takes a village. Well, true, but the people in your group need to know about diabetes. It's great to have a whole bunch of people in your immediate group of friends that are helping you with your type 1 diabetes. But you need to have a GP, you need to have an endocrinologist, a diabetic nurse. All of these people to give you the information you need in order to carry on. Don't settle for second best. And back when I used to manage an optical store, the district manager saw something was wrong with my glasses that I just gotten. And he said, you shouldn't settle for that, because if you settle for that, what about for other customers? Are they always going to get subpar service? And I kind of thought about it and said, that's right. For me, I expect that we should find the ultimate reason. Now, for over 20 years, it's eluded us and my medical team on why I have problems. And if we give a endocrinologist all my information, they look at it, and the first thing they're going to say is, he's taking insulin. I mean, even here, exactly the same. Oh, he's taking insulin. Oh, he's not allowed to have a needle. Oh. I have problems controlling my diabetes. I had problems before controlling my diabetes. Do you think, oh well, we're going to play the little game again? And I said, no, I'm not going to play it. We did this in Royal Columbia. I kept having severe lows. And one day, I was in an overflow of emergency. And, slept. And woke up with IVs and everything. So they put me up on the high acuity unit. And I laid there. I mean, the room was about a quarter of this room. And you pretty well had a bed, and that's about it. And they were going to what? They were certain I wasn't going to go low. First night, twice I went low. They kept feeding me, have big meals later in the day to help control the night lows. And then when things started to settle down there, it popped up in the morning. I have been through so many different things, but having my blood sugar be that fragile or labile is a pain. I spent many hours in the hospitals over this. And I started to control my diabetes years ago. And I really got tired of the whole sort of philosophy that you don't know how anything. You're just the patient. We decide what you're going to do and you're going to do it. This first example isn't my diabetes, and I'm sorry if this is a little turns people off, but I have an intestinal issue, and part of it is I have severe runny bowels. We'll just put it that way, okay? So, years ago, my doctor prescribed Imodium, and I tried taking it for a number of times, and it didn't work. Here, they pushed it again. I said, okay. I kept taking it. It didn't work again. And then nurses came up and said, oh, well, yes, we'll try Imodium, and then we'll just see how it goes, and then we'll talk to the doctor. And I said no, because it doesn't work. Insulin, again, I told this story a number of times. I'm sorry if it's getting redundant, but when I got sick and went into DK, went over to Abbotsford, the critical care doctors thought, oh, well, the pump's not working. We'll just take them off and put them on shots. And they thought, oh, yes, that's going to solve everything. I said no to shots. In a politeful way. But it takes me a little while longer sometimes to respond, and I'll respond. In Abbotsford, they brought me out of DKA, and then I slipped back into it. It's my body's way of saying, oh, we're not done with that yet. But then, if we had just left my pump, then it would have eventually caught up and things would have gone on the merry way. I have real problems with medical people that don't speak to the patient. And I've said it before here that I believe a lot of times it's because they deal with an older population here. And they aren't always with it. They've lived a good life and Now they can't really make decisions on their own. I'm a little different. For a while, hopefully for the next 20 years or so, I can still be as sharp as a tack. So I should be in decision making about my diabetes. I'm the one who makes decisions about my diabetes. I'm not just going to follow blindly. And I think here they're thinking, oh, well, we'll just decide, and that's what we'll do, and it'll all be solved. When I went into emergency one of the 2 times here, a nurse there said, oh, she had worked over here a couple of times. I had seen her here. And she said, oh, why aren't the nurses controlling it? It's so complex. The nurses should be the ones doing it. And I said, no, I think I have a little bit more experience. I take advice from my diabetic nurse. I take advice from my endocrinologist. They've walked down the road with me here. I'm lucky to have qualified people that can help me. But ultimately, it's about me. It's about not settling for second rate, not repeating stuff time and time again, because your body needs to deal with things the way they dealt with. Enough is enough. So I decided I'm taking charge of it. I'm going to learn about things. And that may have been one of the big reasons I started this channel. I do look at things like before I choose a subject, I will do some research on it. I don't know everything about it all. Just remember, you can do a lot of good keeping track and knowing what's being done, what were the reasons for stuff, and to work towards getting the bigger blood sugars. And with that, I hope you have a super day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.